Go.
Hello and welcome to Curiosity Kills. Today we are interviewing Mr. McGovern. How are you doing today?
I'm good today.
That's good. I'm just going to be asking you a couple questions.
Sounds good.
Okay, start off. Who inspires you?
Think about who inspires me on a daily basis. I would say my kids,
Why?
my students. They inspire me to do my job the best that I can when they're having those aha moments. And lucky I had all of you guys in class. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys get me to do a better job when we're having that success. And I'm seeing you guys have those light bulb moments like, oh, I got this figured out, and we're having a good time and all that. And it inspires me to do the best that I can because I want to do the best that I can for you guys.
Why did you choose to teach math?
Well, I originally wanted to do PE, but my mom insisted that I do something other than PE because in Illinois they were cutting PE jobs and not hiring too much. I was always pretty good at math. Math just kind of makes sense to me. It's logical, and always kind of a backup plan is that if I decide to get out of teaching, I could always fall back on a math degree.
What made you want to start teaching?
Man, but when I was first coming out of high school, I wanted to be an athletic trainer, or I was going to go into the medical field of some sort. But then I was getting into my freshman year of college. I started kind of think more and more of what I wanted to do, kind of who I was as a person, and how I got to where I was. And I thought about this guy named Bob Flake. Bob Flake is a chemistry teacher and a football coach at Belleville West. And I was in his student teaching class when I was a freshman in high school. And then he got hired on at West, and he was my JV football coach. And he kind of kept me on the straight and narrow. And anytime that I wanted to do some kind of knucklehead thing like some of you guys might do from time to time, he made sure that I didn't do it. And he made sure that I had a good head on my shoulders, and I kept my nose in the books, and I kept good grades, stay out of trouble, that sort of thing. And he was more than just a teacher or a mentor to me. I mean, he really became like one of my best friends. And he even was in my wedding a year and a half ago. And when I was sitting there thinking what I wanted to do, I mean, it wasn't that I said I wanted to be a teacher. I said I wanted to be somebody's Flake. Because I was like, this guy made such a difference in my life, and I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for him. And I mean, I want to 20 years down the road have one of you guys come back and see me and tell me I was your Flake. You know what I mean? And that I was that one that made an impact. And you never know on a daily basis or what kid I'm working with when that might be that moment. And then that brings us back to the first question: what inspires me? That inspires me. I never know with what kid or what day could be the day that I make a difference in somebody's life.
What's a goal you have in life?
Well, like I said there, I want to make a difference. Um, didn't exactly go into teaching for the income. I would say I do it for the outcome. Um, I brought it before that my grandpa was the vice president of McDonnell Douglas or Boeing and built airplanes. And has done very, very well for himself, and he wanted me to follow in his footsteps and kind of do the same thing and design airplanes. And I mean, I could be working for Boeing now and making tons of money, but I don't think I'd be as happy. Um, like I said, working with you guys and seeing you guys get to a place that you never thought you could get is why I do it.
What's the greatest thing you've accomplished so far?
Man, the greatest thing I accomplished. I think I'd probably just say graduating college, just making it through 4 years and doing it with honors. Yeah.
Impressive. What's the greatest challenge you've ever faced?
Greatest challenge I ever faced. There's a lot going through. Be completely honest, probably about 2 years ago, one of my best friends that I played football with passed away in a motorcycle accident. And that was one of the hardest things I ever had to go through. Just so I mean, this kid was a brother to me. I considered his mom like a second mom to me, and just waking up every day and going to work and kind of acting like it didn't bother me was one of the hardest things ever. had to go through. Anybody that's lost in my clothes gets it, and they know it. Um, but just realizing they got to get through each day, and that there's a plan for everybody, and things happen. Um, and I just know a lot of times when I'm thinking about him or I'm getting down on myself and that sort of thing, I use him as strength to get me through because I know he's looking down on me, and he was always my enforcer, my bodyguard, and always had my back. And I know that even though he's not here with us physically, he's still got my back in whatever I'm doing.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Belleville. Went to Abraham Lincoln School where my mom teaches now, and then West Junior High, and then Belleville West. Yeah, so I grew up right down the street from West Junior High.
How are the conditions?
Of the school or where I live, just kind of the condition. Um, I lived in a pretty nice house, in a decent neighborhood. It's going downhill a little bit now, as the years are going on. There's a little less old people than when I was there. I remember there wasn't as many kids to hang out with when I was younger, but now when I go through my mom's neighborhood, there's a lot of kids riding their bikes and that sort of thing.
What college did you go to?
I went to Illinois College in Jacksonville, Illinois. It's about 30 minutes west of Springfield. It's a really small school. It's about 1,200 kids, so it's about half the size of like Belleville West. Um, so it was a big adjustment coming from such a big high school where I graduated with 550 kids, and then I go to a school that's 1,200 total. And I went to school with a lot of kids that came from smaller schools, more of the farm type of community. So it was nice just kind of getting a different perspective, or just getting to know like different people that come from smaller backgrounds than me and my friends have kind of come from.
What was your first job out of high school?
First job out of high school or in high school?
Out of high school.
Out of high school. Well, I coached at Belleville West after I graduated. Did that for a little bit, and I also worked at the farmers market on the west side of Belleville, and I slang apples and bananas and oranges and peaches. They have the best peaches in town. Place to go.
Sounds very fun. What skills have you found most useful while teaching?
Work ethic. Me having a terrible work ethic has gotten me to where I am. I kind of like to take pride in me being one of the first people in the building, and when it's not football season, one of the last to leave. I just truly believe in whatever it is that you're doing. Working hard is what's going to get you to be successful. And when you're not successful, if you're still working hard, that's what's going to get you to eventually get there. I mean, I always say, failing is just your first attempt in learning. So anytime I've failed, me being able to pick myself back up, dust myself off, and keep grinding has gotten me where I am. And I know with teaching, it's the same way. When a lesson doesn't go well, I've got to go work harder. I've got to go figure out a way to get it through. So, I would say probably working hard and just that work ethic is the biggest thing that's helped me find success in this.
How have you acquired that skill?
Well, my parents wouldn't let me do anything other but work hard. And I think playing football growing up really instilled that in me because I was not the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest. I was usually the smallest, the weakest, and the slowest. So I had no other option if I was going to have a chance of ever seeing the field was just to put my head down and do everything I could, the best that I could. And I think that definitely translated into life and what I do on a daily basis now.
What's a typical day in the classroom like?
Man, it depends on the day. I like to think that my classroom isn't the most normal classroom. I love having fun. I love joking around as long as we're being able to be productive and we're getting things done. When kids are engaged and having fun, that's when they're most likely to do their learning. So we like playing a lot of games. I usually have music playing in the background. You might see me go from beating my head on the whiteboard to dancing, doing the pancake, or maybe jujuing on that beat with my 7th grade honors class. But Yeah, what you see in my room, you probably wouldn't see in most classrooms for the most part, I would say.
Why'd you choose to work at Granite?
Well, I was lucky enough that I knew Mr. Martin. Um, his mother has been dating my grandfather for the last 10 years, so he's kind of like family. And just said that there had to be an opening that wasn't posted yet. And he was like, if you can get your resume together, I can try to get you an interview. And when I came in, I met Mrs. Lasley and Mr. Steins and Miss Lowe and all of the staff here. I just kind of fell in love. And I mean, I love the homey feeling of this place, and how everybody kind of cares. Everybody cares about each other, and everybody's got each other's backs here. Um, and I know that for the staff and the administration, the biggest point of emphasis is what's best for the kids. And I've been other places where they may say that, but it's not exactly true. And I know it's true here. Every single person that is working in this building or over at Line wants what is best for the kids. And I mean, that's why I went into education in the first place, because I wanted to make a difference and I want to do what's best for kids. And when I was able to get that message from them, I knew right off the bat I was on board. And then being able to meet all of you guys, all the students, I fell in love even more. I mean, I love being able to work with you guys. I mean, this is a great student body.
Are there any negativities to your job?
Oh, there's definitely peaks and valleys. They have good days and bad days. Some things go well, some things don't. Um, yeah, I mean, like some lessons will just go better than others. Some people have off days. I mean, I have off days, I have on days, and I know the students do too. And so I try not to ever take anything personal, but yeah, sometimes you can get one kid that's just having an off day or a rough day that can end up making yours a rough or off day. Um, but what I do every time when I come home is I just go, this day's over, and tomorrow's a new day to start all over. And I'll be honest, I even had a pretty rough day yesterday, and on my way into work today, whole new day, whole new opportunity to make a difference. Um, and I think as long as I'm keeping that in mind, those negativities always seem very, very minute compared to the positivities that are
What do you think is the best academic preparation for teaching?
going on. Being in it, student teaching was the biggest thing. So I learned a lot the first 4 years, just going through classes and hearing teachers talk about best. My professors talk about best methods and different ways to assess and all this. The actual book kind of stuff. Um, but the best thing for me to figure out teaching was working with kids and getting thrown into the fire. And even when I was student teaching, my college didn't, which I thought was kind of weird. They didn't want us actually teaching and taking over the room by ourselves. They wanted us kind of co-teach with the cooperating teacher that was already, that had the class. Um, but luckily, I had a great cooperating teacher that I had already previously known from the year before, and she was like, "You're ready to go. I want you running the show. I want you writing the lessons plan. I want you grading everything, and I want you acting like this is your classroom. And that's what's going to prepare you." And that's what she did. So I mean, after like a week of student teaching, the class was mine, and just being thrown into the fire, and it being like this is what day-to-day activities are like, and you might have this thing come up, and you got to grind through it, and you got to keep on moving through the day, and you got to do what's best for every single kid in there. Um, just being put into that role of this is mine. I'm in charge, and whatever outcomes happen, it's all on me. That was the best thing that prepared me for teaching, I think.
Do you think people have any common misperceptions when they think they want to start teaching?
Yes, like I got some friends that bring up like, hey, so what do I need to do to become a teacher? I mean, they think like a lot. It's just you hand out worksheets and you don't do anything. Or want to go into PE and think you're just rolling a basketball out there each period and you're hanging out and getting paid for it. And they don't think that a lot of people really realize the kind of work that goes into being a teacher. Um, I got people give me a hard time like, oh, well, you only do it for the summers off, and I'm like, yeah, I would love to break down hourly what we're making and then compare it to what you're making, you know. Um, yeah, I think there's some common misconceptions for sure about what it takes to be a teacher and definitely what it takes to be a good teacher from people that aren't in the profession. If that makes sense.
Mhm. Is there anything you wish you knew before you started teaching?
How tired I'd be. That's probably the best way, just knowing how tired I'd be on a daily basis. But like I said, I wouldn't do anything else. I know this is what God put me on earth to do.
How long have you been teaching?
This is my fourth year, not counting half of a year of a long term sub. So yeah, it's my fourth year.
What specialized training or education do you think you need to succeed in teaching?
Well, you got to get certified in whatever it is that you're teaching. So you could get like elementary. You could just be certified in elementary and then get an endorsement for middle school in some kind of subject like English or science or math. Um, if you're going to like teach at the high school level, which I'm certified for, you need to get certified in that content. So like really, I have a math degree, but I'm just certified to teach as well. But like I said, I think the most important thing to prepare a teacher to be a teacher is getting thrown in the fire um, during student teaching and saying this is what it looks like on a daily basis. Because I've even met people that went through all of the school, all the schooling in college to become a teacher, got put into student teaching and realized this isn't exactly what I want to do. This is not what I pictured it to be. So personally, I think one way that you could maybe try to improve education for people that want to become a teacher is throw them in the fire earlier. Um, I think like sophomore year of college is probably when they really need to start getting in the classroom and like taking charge of the classroom and figuring out, I mean, is this what I want to do on a daily basis for the rest of my life? Because I had a lot of friends that decided this isn't what they wanted to do, but they were already 4 years into school. You know what I mean? So maybe, I mean, still getting thrown in the fire and being put in charge, but not, maybe not doing it all at once at the end. You know what I mean? So then that way, if it's something that is that they don't want to do, they can redirect themselves and not put themselves in tons of student debt.
How has teaching affected your lifestyle other than making you more tired?
Um, Much busier during the school year, especially during football season. I coach football at Muscogee High School. Um, with me living in Columbia, Illinois, and teaching here in Fairview Heights, Illinois, and then coaching in Muscogee, basically it's 13 hours that I'm gone for a work day. I leave about 6 and I get home about 7 p.m. usually. So a big part of that, which my wife's understandable about because she is a teacher, is just that we don't get that much us time. We try to squeeze it in on the weekends when we can, but just busy schedule. And even when we are home, we might be eating dinner together, but we're both grading papers at the same time, which is a plus of being married to another teacher because she gets it and she's doing the same thing. But yeah, just the time that's got to go into it. Definitely just the amount of time that you got to put in to be good at what you do.
Mm-hmm. How do you think your life would be different if you didn't teach?
Man, well, if I didn't teach, I'd probably be following my grandpa's footsteps and go and be building planes. My bank account would be bigger. Um, but would I be happier? Probably not. I mean, I know I wouldn't want to just sit behind a cubicle crunching numbers. I wouldn't find happiness that way. You know, the little interactions that I have with students every day and be able to see their smiles and laugh and giggle here and there. I mean, that's what keeps me coming back to work every day. And so I know, like, if I wasn't teaching, my life would be much different. I'm not sure exactly what I'd be doing. I would hope that I'd go back to school and get an engineering degree and go build planes, but I mean, who knows? I mean, I might just be the best dang sandwich artist that Subway's ever had. You never know.
Do you have any advice for someone who's looking to teach?
You gotta have passion. If you don't feel the passion, if you don't feel like this is what you were put on earth to do, it's probably not for you. It's probably not for you. This is something you got to wholeheartedly thrust your entire, everything that you have into it. And if you're one of those that has that misconception of, oh, I get my summers off, and you're doing it just to get summers off, and you think it'd be an easy gig, this profession is not for you. and you're not going to do any kids you come in contact with any justice. You're not going to do them any good if you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Do you have any hobbies?
I said I love coaching football. Um, I'm pretty mean at Madden. And anybody that wants to get it on the sticks can get it anytime. But I like to say my Madden skills are pretty up there. Um, I enjoy going fishing in the summer, going golfing. I never thought I'd say that. My entire family's golfers, and I said I'd never ever golf, like ever. And then once I wasn't allowed to play football anymore, college was over. I was like, all right, I'm done playing real sports, as I said, so I'll pick up golf. And now I've kind of really gotten into it. It's one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. I mean, because just think about it, you're hitting a really tiny ball really far into a tiny cup, and you got to do it in as few swings as possible. It's not exactly an easy sport, but it's something you play by yourself and you just challenge yourself. I mean, I think just who I am, I'm always kind of looking for a new challenge. So that's a good hobby for me.
Do you have any like secret special talents?
I don't know if they're secret. I don't keep many secrets. I feel like anything I'm good at, you guys have probably already figured out about me. I feel like I can dance all right. I feel like if need be, if I know the song, I can rap a song pretty well. Yeah. Um, but no, not really. I think my only talent's teaching. That's why it's a good thing. That's all I'm doing.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
I think it was my third birthday. And I remember walking out my front yard, and there was a big giant Batmobile. And like how they have like the plug-in like Mustangs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Batmobile, and it came out because the new Batman just came out, which is now the old Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But the new Batman had came out, and I had a little plug-in car that was the exact replica of the Batmobile, and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever, and I was so excited. And then I got on it, and I started driving down the street, and my dad had to go chase me, and then I jumped a curb, and I broke it. But until I broke it, it's the happiest childhood memory I ever had.
Okay, then. I'm very interested and would love to learn more, but I'm afraid we are out of time. Thank you for joining us, Mr. McGovern.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.
I will. You too.